Hi, I'm Kevin Goatee. Welcome to Gutting the Sacred Cow. What's up, friends? We got a hell of an episode today. Ralph Sutton, remember him from last year? You know, the guy who decided to try and take on Avengers Endgame? What temerity. Well, this week, he's back, and he's here to talk about why he hates Wonder Woman. Do Kevin, Israel, and I agree? You're here for a reason. Before we get to it, make sure you're on guttingthesacredcow.com every single day for those kick-ass blogs. And, of course, merch shop, hats, bags, mugs, shirts, hoodies, whatever, we're there. And, of course, do you want to advertise with us? We've got a brand new advertiser this week, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. Do you like to park? Kevin, Israel, name that film.
It's Back to the Future.
Oh, look at him, fresh out of the chute and hot the trot.
Isn't it? But doesn't she say Marty at the end?
Yeah, I decided
like to park or Calvin.
Yeah, I left that
like
out because that's a
Calvin?
dead fucking giveaway.
Well, that's not the whole line.
Well, what did you give you a fucking silver platter 2-0 fastball, whatever?
4 score and that's it. That's all you get.
That's not a movie quote. Kevin Goatee, Kevin Israel, we are here. Time for another dandy episode of Gutting the Sacred Cow. Thanks for tuning in to the Dark Knight episode. Yeah, someone had the balls to go after that one. Can you believe that shit, Kevin Israel? I'm still shook.
Yeah, I'm still pretty surprised by that, but it happened, and now you can listen to it.
And I'm more surprised at the score he gave. Teaser, this week, we've got a return gutter, and that is Ralph Sutton. You remember Ralph from last year, almost at the same time? He's the motherfucker who went up against Avengers Endgame and got some shit for it. Ralph, how's it going, sir? What's new with you?
At the time, you told me I was the only one where you guys readjusted down after the episode. Is that still the case?
No, sir, it is not. We've had many of people that we've changed the score because of that.
Okay.
Hey, you were a trailblazer. I'll give you that.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
You always remember your first.
Yeah.
Ralph, tell everybody what you're up to, where we can find you, all that good stuff at the top.
Well, follow me everywhere at I Am Ralph Sutton. My podcasts, I do 2 of them. One is called the SDR Show, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Show. I do it with comedian Big J. Okerson, and that's our big show. We just had the best month we've ever had. We do numbers on Gas Digital every first Monday of every month, and Jesus Christ, it really got bigger and bigger the last couple of months. And then my other podcast on health and wellness is called the Good Sugar Podcast that I do with the founder of Juice Press, which really is there to chronicleize my journey. I've lost now 70 pounds, which is pretty wild.
Wow.
I just saw a picture of myself from about 3 years ago, and I look like a giant piece of sausage molded into the shape of Frankenstein. And that was just a few years ago. Sorry. And what a difference it is. And of course, Gas Digital Network, I co-own with Louis J. Gomez. We just announced today 2 new shows joining the network in January, which is Aaron Berg's podcast and then Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist Zach Wilde's podcast are both launching in January on Gas Digital.
That's some hot shit right there, man. Well done. Ralph has decided to come back with a second comic book film that I know it's going to definitely annoy one segment of the population. Wonder Woman 2017, a budget at the time of $200 million. Box office haul of 412.8, 2021 money, $215 million budget, $4 million US gross. Not bad. Got to be the biggest DC. For DC, it's
doubling it is like good is not great. You know, from 200 to 400 is not like, oh my God. If it was like 100 to 900, that's amazing.
Someone's got a greedy.
It starts already. He's already got the dagger out.
I must say, I think it was worldwide. The number was 800 million. If I'm going to be completely fair, but that's why I said US for 444.
I am the accent.
IMDb 1 through 10 with decimal points. Hey Ralph, what do you think Wonder Woman scored on the old IMDb?
8.2.
Kevin Israel.
I was going to go low 8s too. I'll go 8.5.
7.4.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So not as well loved as I thought it was going to be.
Well, let's find out what the Rotten Tomatoes critics had to say. Kevin Israel, why don't you stand up to the podium and let's hear it?
Yeah, I don't think this did as well. I'm going to go 75.
Ralph?
82%.
93.
What?
You guys, how dare you? How dare you forget the blowhard critics and their love if it's a woman superhero and a woman director? You should have known that shit would have been minimum high 80s, low 90s. That's on YouTube. Let's see what the
so long ago.
I know. Let's see what the audience score. Ralph, what do you think the audience gave Rotten Tomatoes?
Now I'm fucking not sure. Because men and women are both going to be in that, and I'm going to stick with my last number. I'm going to go 78%.
Kevin Israel,
83.
83 on the money.
Whoa!
Someone's got two showcases coming to him in the spin on the big wheel.
It'll be a good night.
5 fun facts. Wonder Woman, the movie, is banned in Lebanon due to the conflict with Israel. Not you, Kevin, the country.
They can have a conflict with me too.
Oh, I'm sure you're very much against that. Oh, onward and upward. The scene where Diana protects Steve from a bullet in the alleyway is a nod to what comic book film, guys? Did you pick up on that
Superman.
I'm guessing Superman.
Yeah.
You are both correct, sirs. Now it's my favorite time. Considered for the role of. Ready? Let's see. You boys want to take a guess? There's a few in here that are easy ones. A couple superhero-esque gals who have played roles in that nature. A couple ones that are not. I'll give you one guess apiece, and let's see if you can pick one of these about 8 or 9 women.
What to be that were potential?
Yes, they're
for,
potential for Wonder Woman, right?
Oh my God, I have no fucking clue.
Megan Fox.
No, but I like the way you think.
That would have been a great movie, though.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
My penis would have made it a much different film.
I'm not even going to garner.
Sandra
a guess.
Bullock was
How about
definitely
that?
too old by then. So
Yeah, I was thinking like, what's her name? The Lara Croft girl. What? I can't think of her name.
Angelina Jolie.
She's too old. She's too old.
now,
so.
well, there's that new Croft who's
Oh,
Vikander, something.
Alicia,
what about the,
Alicia Vikander. That's no, she's
Yeah.
not.
What about the chick that was in the vampire movies? What the hell's her name? She's now
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
No. Come on now, Ralph. I'm so bad with names.
Sarah Michelle Gellar was considered for the role.
No
Oh my
way.
God.
Way one of them. Yes, she
Wow.
was.
What's her name from the Twilight movie? The Twilight movie. What's her name?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart. How about
Kristen
that?
Stewart's on the list. There you go.
All right, that's who I meant.
That would have been a disaster.
Well, let's see who else would have been disaster and who would have been good. Here's who I think would have been good: Jessica Biel,
Yeah,
Too old.
I can see that.
She's too old.
Kate Beckinsale.
Too old.
Yeah, she's done so many of these.
I know. Sarah Michelle Gellar, Rachel Bilson.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
Neither does her agent, Misha Barton, or former agent.
Okay.
Here's what I think I would have dug: Eva Green,
I don't know who that
Google
is.
her.
Casino
Google.
Royale. You know,
Oh,
She's
yeah,
hot
yeah.
as hell. Yeah, she's hot as hell.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it only because I'm going to see her have to run with those massive pontoons on her chest. Christina Hendricks.
That's weird. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
that.
She wouldn't need bracelets to deflect bullets. Those titties would have done the job just nicely.
I feel like this is when they were just sitting around a table throwing out names.
Yeah, who do we want to see in a skin tight outfit? All right, how about her?
Here's one. Now, I knew this before. Who turned down the role? Kobe Smulders, who is at How I Met Your Mother. She's
She's a
Marvel chick.
Marvel.
Maria,
Yeah.
and that's what she said. I did not want to go out and get mobbed by everybody, so I wanted to take a lesser role. So that's why she became Maria Hill instead of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I didn't want all that money. God, all that money would have been so terrible.
Well,
It's always easy to take the high road when it was never really offered to you.
to be fair, she makes, I think, 15, 20 million in How I Met Your Mother syndication money. So she's not exactly hurting for scratch.
Fair enough.
Gal Gadot got the part shortly after she decided to give up on acting, being she was unsuccessful in landing the roles, and she was sick of taking 15-hour flights back to Israel. How about Move?
She never really started acting to give up on it.
Well, I have a little observation there. And now it's time for everybody's news segment, Ask a Gutter. Lord Snurts writes, Wonder Woman, like many superhero movies, ends with a huge, somewhat confusing CGI battle. Very few films successfully pull it off. Is there a better way to portray an epic final fight? Ralph?
I don't think so. Not these days. I think it just was I just don't think it was great CGI. I never feel that way when I'm watching the Marvel movies that, oh, the CGI sucks. I just think it looked weird. It was an awkward end battle in Wonder Woman. But you look at some of the like Infinity War fights, those were incredible. I never once think, oh, this is taking me out of it. But it did do it in Wonder Woman.
Sure. At Hopper 2400, I really liked Wonder Woman, but it was a slog to rewatch. My question is, who is the worst actress you can think of that would still be better than Gal Gadot in this movie?
I'm going to let you guys answer that one. I'm not good with names.
Oh, Kevin Israel.
Kevin, you want
a better actress than?
But who's worse?
It's a low bar for better actress.
Who's the worst actress you can think of that would be better than Gal Gadot?
I'm going to go back to his Megan Fox, by the way.
Megan Fox, yeah.
I would have rather seen Megan
Fox.
Fox.
Home run right there.
Yeah, it's the trifecta on that.
How about Melissa McCarthy? I think that would be better.
It's not nice.
She did a superhero movie, and it was
terrible.
It was an abortion, that movie. Jesus.
She also did.
You know what? I didn't even see the last 15 minutes of it. When you bail with 15 minutes left, that says something about the movie.
It says something about you that you stayed in that long and then said at the 15-minute mark, fuck it.
You know what? I think I had to come do the podcast, and I was like, I'll finish it.
Oh, really?
And then I came back, and Ashley was like, this is what happened. And I was like, good enough.
That's like going all in at a poker table and then walking away before all the cards are turned up.
But I knew I was going to lose. So
fair. You're drawing.
And the same thing. You just asked them what happened. Like, all right, I was fine. Yeah.
Good enough. Next question for at Newark Night for Ralph the Masochist. He was not happy with your assailment of Avengers Endgame. Don't bring up the actress's ass. We've heard that joke too many times. Is Wonder Woman a better or worse origin film than Captain Marvel, and in what way?
I mean, I am probably against the grain here. I liked Captain Marvel. I think people give it way too much shit. Her character is a deadpan character. That is who that is. I enjoyed that movie. So by far, I enjoyed Captain Marvel more.
I'm floored you heard you say, wow.
Did he say about her ass?
I don't remember saying anything about an ass.
No. He's saying don't say because of her ass. That's
okay.
Yeah, he was doing that. I
didn't hate Captain Marvel. I don't know why everyone hates it so much. I thought it was fine.
It was fine, but when you're put up against so many great movies that Marvel's put out, especially origin movies, I think it just fan base is impossible to please.
I would put it on the lower end of the Marvel movies, but I didn't hate it.
Oh, it sucked. I would put it in the bottom third without question. Is it worse than Thor: Dark World? No, it's not worse than Dark
Wonder
World.
Woman. I was looking at the time, like, when the fuck is this going to end? I didn't feel that way with Captain Marvel.
Fair. Yeah, fair. Okay, let's see. Are there any other? Are there any? They both they won. The one for sure stinks. Let's see. Did I miss any other people's questions? God, I hope not. If I did, I apologize.
Also, I appreciated how Captain Marvel connected some dots for the other storylines. I don't know. I'm a Marvel guy more at heart anyway. That's just been who I am since I'm a kid.
Or maybe you got excited seeing a Blockbuster Video back in a theater in a film.
That was pretty cool. My youth.
The Be Kind Rewind and the smell of that place. And then, oh, wait, these assholes have the balls to charge $9 for a bag of popcorn. I'm glad they went under. Fuck you, Blockbuster. That does it for Ask a Gutter for this film. Kevin Israel, I think it's time to let Ralph out of the cage and do what he's about to do like a feral cat, and that is to gut the sacred
cow.
Wow, for the amount of times you guys done this, you think you'd be in better sync. Jesus Christ.
It was great sync on my end.
Yeah.
Awful. All right, so let me just start. The only positive thing on this movie, Gal Gadot is fucking gorgeous. All right, let's just say that. She's beautiful. It's easy to watch her because she's beautiful. Put that aside. First thing, and this is just a dig at the DC universe in general. It's so fucking dour and dark and miserable. There's almost no comedy in any of those movies. It just feels heavy to watch them. They're not lighthearted and fun, which is what you want a superhero movie to be for the most part. That's number one. Number two, the amount of times she fucking scowls at the camera and then jets off into a direction, maybe 25 times in the movie. It's so stupid. She gets pushed back, looks, and then zooms off. I think it's 25 times in the fucking movie. It's insane. I don't know why all DC movies feel the need to do this, which is so much backstory on the childhood. If you think about Marvel movies, When was the time on any one of these movies, Iron Man, Spider-Man, whatever, where they spend time watching the kid fucking grow up? Who cares? It's so boring. They do so much of that to establish some shitty backstories that never really go anywhere anyway.
Right.
You want me to keep going?
Yes, I do. Yes. Dig a hole for this one.
Here's the thing that makes another thing that makes no sense. When I rewatched the movie just the other day, if you would have asked me 2 days ago, what war were they fighting? I would have said World War II for sure. And it's not, it's World War I. They basically made them Nazis for the most part. You would never assume that they weren't. If you just watch those scenes out of context, you would think you're watching Nazis. The Iron Crosses, everything just felt very Nazi. And also, this woman, if you want to believe Themyscira, they're out of context of the whole world, and then they just immediately side with the British? Why? Because Chris Pine's good looking? There's no basis for it. She just decides those are the good people and these are the bad people when they have no idea why. Also, if Themyscira is so easy to discover, a plane just fell in. And also, when you look at like Black Panther, they have a boundary around
Wakanda.
Yeah. Where nobody could get in, and it looks fake on the outside, it looks cheap or whatever. But here, the guy just sticks his hand in and he's through the fucking shield. How did that ever prevent people for years to see them? When they finally decide to sail back to America, it's just the two of them on a fucking boat. How did they travel hours with no one sailing? They fall asleep and they wake up in LA. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. The amount of time she pulls her sword out of her dress when you can clearly see she's not wearing her armor, she's not wearing a dress, and then not wearing the sword or the boots, and then the next scene, the dress is off and she's fully clothed in her armor, makes no fucking sense whatsoever. The scene where Chris Pine is talking English but in a German accent to get into a German party makes no fucking sense. What? And they also, because they had subtitles in the movie, was he not able to learn German? Because they couldn't do that. It made no sense whatsoever. I also love it. I can't believe that they didn't get shit for this. When I watched it, I thought it was funny. It was such like a hacky, stereotypical ragtag group of guys. It's a Scottish guy who's a heavy drinker. It's a Turkish guy who's always wearing a fez. Like, it was playing to every fucking stereotype to the point of it being almost embarrassing. You have to ask yourself, why did Steve have to kill himself on the plane? He could have just parked it somewhere else and blew it up from a distance. Why the fuck did he need to kill himself? It made no sense whatsoever. Generally, the whole thing felt long and boring. You never really fully understand Wonder Woman's powers. At the end, she gets some sort of like fucking lightning bolt power that has never been described or addressed or whatever. She just knew how to do it, which made no sense whatsoever. And also, the other part that's just so insignificant that bothered me, but when she got to LA, this woman who speaks all these different languages and apparently is so worldly is like, oh, why are couples holding hands? I don't understand what's going on. You don't understand basic affection? When you understand everything else about the nuance of these languages, it makes no fucking sense. I found it boring. I found it dragged on, and I just fucking hated it. That's my beef.
Wow. It was London, by the way.
Yeah.
Was it London?
LA.
Sorry. Did I say LA? I meant whatever.
I was like, I love that he thinks they went all the way.
Yeah, whatever it was. It still made no fucking sense. It still made no fucking sense.
I thought we were going to have a repeat performance where Ralph goes and goes, I watched Wonder Woman 1984. So
why did that happen with someone?
Ralph. Yes. So last week we did it Dumb and Dumber, and the girl watched Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, that's really funny.
She's talking about how the daughter of Jim Carrey the opening scene with the daughter of Jim Carrey Jim Carrey sticks his head out of a fucking limousine in the first 15 seconds when the credits are still rolling. There is no daughter. So I'm like, oh, please don't tell me you watch 84 because this is going to be a short episode.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just remembered something else that bothered me. There's a scene. You know the girl with the fucking weird mask face thing, right? She says to the guy, oh, I thought of this formula last night. Here, it's going to make you strong. Not, hey, we tested this on animals and we know it works. The guy's like, oh, you made it up last night? All right, fine. I'm going to fucking suck it in. Who would do that? It makes no fucking sense. It's so stupid. And then when they find the book and all they care about is like one passage, not like, hey, let's look through this book from the Germans and find out everything. They're only focused on the one thing. I just fucking hated it. It just really, I can't explain. I remember looking, and same thing last time. It was arduous to get through. It felt, I don't know how long it was, but it feels like it was fucking 3.5 hours, this movie.
220.
There you go. It's too fucking long anyway.
I like how you said, and I wrote it down, Wonder Woman became Raiden from Mortal Kombat in this film. How the fuck did that happen?
It's so stupid. And it's, so, I mean,
power
also,
of love.
Where did she learn that all of a sudden?
No.
Like, why? It is, I just fucking hated it. Except she is fun to look at. I will say that. She's fun to look at.
Give me a number, Ralph, 1 to 10. What would you give Wonder Woman?
5 and change, 5.1. That's what I'm giving it.
5.1. You hate it that much, and you did such a quick dissection at 5.1. But how so high if you hate it that much?
I mean, 5 is failing.
I mean, 5 and the old 1 to 10 is meh.
No, I go 6 and 65 and higher is a passing grade.
Yeah, we're the old school. You're right, but again, well, okay.
I'm looking at it in that way. If we were just saying on a true 1 to 10, it's a 3.
Okay, that's okay. 3.
That makes
there
more
we
sense.
Go. That's the hate.
Sorry, I was going by if it was a passing grade as a 65. I'm giving it a 5.1.
This isn't University of Gutting the Sacred Cow.
Sorry, guys.
The online version, University of Phoenix online.
And also, I'll put it to you this way. I never once thought about rewatching this movie. Never. Where I do, like, very often, if fucking Infinity War is on or Doctor Strange is on, I'm like, I'm going to sit and fucking watch this. I will watch it again. This, if it was on screen, I immediately would change the channel.
Sounds like it failed the remote test, huh, Kevin Israel? That's what I think. Kevin, I'm going to go first because I know you're going to mop up with the comic nerd knowledge show. I'm going to go first. Guttingthesacredcow.com is where you find blogs every single day, Monday through Friday. Go to our website as well to get merch. It is time for hoodies, hats, bags, mugs, shirts, you name it. And we'll be doing a live show, hopefully in the very near future. Again, notes. Call me nuts. I'd still rather have 75-year-old Linda Carter play Wonder Woman. She was like Katy Perry in the 70s. Wowie zowie. They have a Wonder Woman slot machine. I don't play slots because, I know how to gamble. And every time I walk by that slot machine, I still stop and stare how hot Linda Carter was as Wonder Woman.
She was great back in the day, for sure.
Oh, my God. She's still... I'm surprised they didn't shoehorn her in as a cameo in this one. As the dad of a 6-year-old, I can vouch that 6-year-olds jump up of a lot of stuff. But one thing my 6-year-old will never jump up of, rooftops or balconies. That doesn't happen. I don't care how fucking boisterous she is. Nope. Where is this Amazon located, and why is it not featured on TripAdvisor, as all the women who live there are stunning? They can't get a Marriott built there with a casino and ATVs. I'm there in 2.5 hours. Trust me. Why do all the Amazon women sound like Melania Trump?
That's true. Yeah. What is Gal's Israeli, right?
But all the Israeli. They needed to get them to just some unidentifiable accent.
Yeah. Amazon equals Portuguese, and none of them looked or sounded Portuguese to me. So noted. This isn't the first time you saw Gal Godot. The last time I saw her before this, she was falling out of a plane in Fast and the Furious 6, and I wonder, does she fly the invisible jet a quarter mile at a time as well?
Do you remember when she was in the movie Date Night and how fucking hot she was when she came down the stairs? Oh, my God.
I never saw Date Night.
Oh, my God. That's the first time I saw her, and I thought, this is the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, she's something.
Why does everyone who is rescued from drowning, always have to be unconscious and then spit up water? No one's ever rescued while conscious, awake in the middle of drowning? No one? No? I'm sick of that trope. I'm having a hard time buying that a bunch of soldiers with rifles can't take out a bunch of Amazon women. I know they're great fighters and all that shit. Arrows take a little bit of time to reload, kids. And the 3-in-1 arrow shot, can we stop that shit now? That never happened. Chris Pine is Matt Damon without the shitty Boston accent. If Chris Pine was indeed part of British intelligence, that's the most Sussex, New Jersey accent I've heard instead of Sussex, England accent I've heard. The CGI is overused and abused. Someone should tell the FX person that when you're flying a plane with no cover on, no canopy, your hair will be blowing all around you, not like a Lego head of hair. Get the fucking facts straight, folks. Minute 42, and I am quite bored with Diana's story. The villain, the dialogue, so underwhelming. We've seen the fish out of water routine a million times, and I, for one, wish for this to be retired. Every single angle has been exhausted, and nothing about this film was original. Note to self, note to everyone listening, I never take guys the British guys at the party I'm going to talk about. With long, wispy mustaches, seriously. I don't entertain dudes who wear bow ties outside of a tuxedo. Lastly, I don't take guys seriously who have a girl's first name. So, Blair, I will not be attending your LinkedIn function. Thank you. Good to see Spud from Train Spotting is still getting some work. Is Danny Houston snorting PCP? It looks like he enjoys getting wet as well. Hour 11 in, and I am really bored.
Hour 11.
Kevin Israel, did this not try the hardest in the world to be Captain America, the first Avenger, or what?
Take all my notes. It's cool.
I know. I knew you were going to do that one, too. Good thing Chris Pine is wearing several layers of clothing to hide his boner while dancing with Gal Godot. Chris Pine's German accent is worse than Pete Davidson's American accent. Hour and 34 in, there is not a scene that stands out where you would cite it in an argument why this is a solid film. Ares is probably one of the weakest villains I've ever seen in a comic book film. Instantly forgettable. You don't have any true moments of drama in that final battle. It's more of like, when is this going to be? Wind the fuck up. This was on page with the same God damn it, Kevin Israel, help me out. Batman versus Superman was a dark side. That's who they fought in the end of Batman Superman, right? Okay. Okay. I instantly saw this film for the first time. I said initially, it's fine. After rewatch, I'm very wrong. This film drags so badly, I had to pause it and watch it in 2 different sittings.
I did the same thing, by the way.
There you go. You don't care about any of the secondary characters, and the jokes are pedestrian at best. There is absolutely nothing that stands out as original. Every trope in this film has been beaten up more than Jenna Jameson's pussy. People went gaga over this, and I figured out why. Obviously, Wonder Woman, the most recognizable and beloved female comic book character. I'm sure we all agree. So people may be lenient that Wonder Woman finally gets her own film. Compound that with having a woman director in today's times. This falls smack in the middle of the Black Panther category. People had to say they loved it or face scrutiny. Now, the difference is Black Panther was at least decent. Good, not great, as others made it out to be, but far, far better than Wonder Woman. That is for sure. And so check out our Black Panther episode as well. Wonder Woman is neither good nor great. I just wish people truly had opinions based on the merits of the finished product, not what gender or color of the person who made it or starred in the film is. This film is a bore fest. This film ranks in the bottom of the DC movies, which is pretty much every DC movie except Shazam, which is pretty solid.
I agree with that, by the way. I loved Shazam. Shazam was fun.
Fantastic.
Shazam was great.
Loved
great
it.
Movie.
I implore anyone who truly likes this film to vocalize why in any of our comment sections or on our media or YouTube page, why this film is good and does not deserve to get snuffed. 3 out of 10. This film stinks. Kevin Israel.
Same review, 3 out of 10. I like to hear that. By the way, I've left out one other thing I remembered. The night before they're about to go attack the enemy, they're all like sitting around drinking by a fire. Is that what you do when you're a mile outside of enemy lines? Light a fire so they can all fucking find you?
George Washington rolled over in his grave the night they crossed the Delaware. I hated this film. Kevin Israel, please. Before we get to my notes, everybody, I want to talk to you about our brand new sponsor, Athletic Greens. Kevin, what do you think of Athletic Greens so far? I'm not going to let you start. I'm going to answer for you. I love this. I love Athletic Greens because you know why? I've been looking to get better gut health. I've been reading a lot about gut health recently, and this is something that's important. When I learned about Athletic Greens and what they do, this is great because not only do they provide better gut health, more energy, and an optimized immune system, it's such an easy thing to do.
I also take it in the morning, and I think it's great. The best thing about it is, for me, that it tastes great. I've used a lot of supplements over the years. I've lifted weights my whole life, and played around with all different supplements from all different lines and companies and vitamins and the whole gamut. And this is a great experience. It tastes great. It's got everything you need in it. And it, like you said, it's gut health, which your stomach, people don't realize your stomach affects everything from digestion to mental health to sleep quality. So this is a really great all around supplement option that packs everything in a tasty way to start the day.
Plus, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. Okay. Fun fact, this is lifestyle friendly. It's keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, and it contains in less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything while still tasting good. It costs less than $3 a day. It's investing in your health. It's cheaper than your coffee habit, right? $3 a day. I don't drink coffee, but I know Starbucks is what, $6 a cup, 7? I don't even know. I don't even care because Athletic Greens isn't that expensive. 7,000 5-star reviews. And you know how much we value 5-star reviews. Recommended by professional athletes and trusted by leading health experts like Tim Ferriss and Michael Gervais. All right. 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills. All right. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you free a 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/GTSC, as in gutting the sacred cow. That's athleticgreens.com/GTSC. Again, athleticgreens.com/GTSC to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Take us through your logic.
I don't know, guys. I loved Wonder Woman. I think she's a fun superhero. I like the action-packed side of it. I like when she spins around and she turns into the different character. I like the invisible jet. I like the whole thing with that was the TV show. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
This movie it was like Patty Jenkins watched the TV show and was like, we're not going to do any of that. Nobody wants to see any of that, when we were all going, no, we want to see all of that again. And she didn't do any of it. This movie for me, when I saw this movie originally, I remember thinking I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it because they throw so much at you, and it's long, but a lot happens at once in all these different scenes. They pack so much in that you leave, and I don't remember really thinking about the movie. I just remember thinking, she's so hot. I guess that was a good movie. Gal Gadot is so stunning. It's painful. I watched it with my wife, and I kept looking at my wife going,
you're not her.
Ridiculous. It's
ridiculous. Did you look at your wife and go like this? Ugh.
Gross.
And my wife was even like, yeah, it's not really not fair. Like
although I'll tell you this, in the picture behind you, she looks terrible.
You know what? I think she needed to shave a little bit. It's all right.
Wait a minute. Wait. That's not Ralph's not going for the remake of Bosom Buddies? Shit.
But I will say this: when they first announced they cast Gal Gadot in this, and everybody went and looked, and I remember her from the Fast and the Furious movies. I was like, she's so skinny. She they can't even at least Linda Carter had looked like an athletic, strong woman. Gal Gadot looks like a runway model, and I was like, there's no way she could pull this off. Maybe she worked out a little bit for the part. I don't know. But
I can answer that. She works 6 hours a day, put on 17 pounds of muscle. A bonus fun fact.
Really? 17 pounds?
They show her boxing. I said, who gives a shit? But you brought it up, Saul. I remember.
Yeah, no, that's
6 hours.
Yes, I thought she looked pretty. I mean, the problem is she's short. She's not that tall.
No, so she's tall.
How tall is she?
I think she's like 5'11".
No, she's not. There's no fucking way. Hold on. Now you're making me look that up. God damn it.
No, I
don't believe you.
Because Chris Pine is 6'1", 6'2".
Gal Gadot is 5'10".
Oh, she's 5'10". Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I take it back. Oh, and Linda Carter's 5'11".
Yeah,
Wow.
Linda Carter was a runway model. So anyway, this movie is almost like 3 movies. There's the beginning with the intro with her whole backstory on Themyscira, which I think they called in the TV show Paradise Island. And they refer to it once in the movie that I thought was a nice little nod. But so there's a whole about her backstory and the Amazons and everything. And I remember thinking, oh, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. On rewatch, because I think this was the only time I've ever watched the movie again the whole way through. On rewatch, the story makes no sense about who these Amazons are. So Zeus created them to protect man. So they're immortal, I guess. And they can't, and they're no kids because they don't have to have kids because they're immortal, and they all have powers. But does Wonder Woman have more powers than them? Are they all super strong? But then one gets shot and then she's dead. So they're not indestructible. Like Zeus made shitty protectors. He could have made much better protect her. But like one bullet and the girl and the lady was dead. And I wasn't even she didn't necessarily get shot somewhere where you die right away. But
also wasn't Wonder Woman supposed to be molded out of clay, and then they kind of dropped that at some point? I don't fucking know what was going on with that either.
Yeah, the whole thing that he gave them the ultimate weapon, and then that was supposed to be like it was the big twist, like the sword isn't the weapon, it's Wonder Woman. We were like, yeah, no shit. We all saw that come. That was the worst telegraphed twist ever. Chris Pine should have been sitting there and gone, yeah, no shit. But I did enjoy. I liked seeing. I always like those kind of like far in the past to present kind of changes when they do that in movies. I liked it, but I really think they fucked up the story of who these Amazons are, and it's just confusing. And I think for the average person watching it, just goes, okay, I guess. But if you really sit down and think about it, it makes no sense who they are, why they're there. And then they're on this island, and Ralph, I think you said it. Why wouldn't you put a force field around it?
Something.
Just put some fog,
and the German
guy just gonna find it.
The German guy peeks through and goes, "Oh, there you guys are. Hey guys!"
Like nobody ever flew over that or boat past it or anything, or like put like rocks around it or something. And then if they're not able to, what's their point? They're supposed to be protecting man, but they stay on this island. They don't even know World War I is going on. The war to end all wars. They had no idea that was going on. So they're the worst protectors ever. So you get past the beginnings, the intro. Then you get to the second portion of the movie, which I did like. I like when they get to London and they start to find out about the war, and they, and there's a little bit of comedy worked in. It's a little shticky, but I like seeing her and I like the fish out of water kind of sense, because she's a superhero and it's in a different time. So
the Melissa McCarthy-esque girl, like the assistant girl.
Yeah. Who that was clearly Melissa.
They wanted Melissa McCarthy, they couldn't get her.
Yeah.
But at least she had a couple of lines that were like, "Oh, that's cute, I guess." Yeah. I don't know.
The secretary line was good.
They're trying too hard with that role. I thought they were trying way too hard. You're like, oh, round peg, square hole. Stop. Round, but yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Gross.
So then when they get to I love period pieces, and I Captain America: First Avenger is my favorite Marvel movie, and I love the idea of working in like a fantastical character into a historical setting, especially like a war. So I really liked seeing her in the war setting. I would have liked more of that than what the rest of the movie was. But the scene where she gets out of the foxhole and she goes across no man's land, and she's, and they happen to conveniently only shoot at her shield when they could have just shot
only at her when everybody else goes out.
Right.
They're still just shooting at her.
Nobody could see anything else. This stunning half-naked woman is traipsing across no man land. We're all going to pay attention to her. I thought that scene was good. The theme song, the score. I guess I really liked the music in this. I thought.
Do you know who did it?
No.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, was it Hans Zimmer? Yeah, clearly that makes sense. But it probably for DC, definitely that was one of the best scores and most identifiable songs to come out of DC, and even the Avengers theme song is pretty good, but it's just a great song, and it does a really good job of ramping up when she's about to do something. So that was good. So then she gets across no man land, she saves the people, she saves the village, everything's great, and then the movie turns into something else completely, and it literally falls off a cliff from everything it built itself up to be. The party is ridiculous. This blindingly stunning woman walks into this, German party, and nobody's like, who the fuck is that? Like, yeah. and they're supposed to be, they went out of their way to show that they're checking invitations and there's such security. And she just puts on some lady's dress and traipses.
Yeah, they should like knock that lady unconscious, I guess. They don't really say that, but then she just took her dress.
Well, they didn't want to show woman on woman crime.
Yeah, and they're like, well, that fits. They go, the dress fits perfectly. Let's just put her in. That's fine.
Of course. And nobody was like, hey, she has a sword in her back.
Yeah.
That clearly wasn't, some part of the dress.
But in that scene, by the way, you can see she's not wearing the boots.
No.
And then 2 minutes later, she has the fucking boots on.
I'm glad you brought up her boots. I love that her boots are like wedges. Like it looks like what women wear today. Like she couldn't be in flats because then it would make her legs look as, muscular. So they put her in these wedges that make no sense to fight in or to, run around in. But it just looks better. And then the movie just falls apart. And the weakest link in this movie is the villain. And Marvel movies have struggled with it. DC has really struggled with it, creating any kind of villain that seems threatening, imposing. He's Ares, but he's this Harry Potter, the guy from Harry Potter, who is the most unthreatening looking man. At least when he became Ares, he should have become somebody else completely. Like, but it's still his skinny face with the stupid mustache. And we're supposed to be scared of this guy because he puts on armor, and then he just becomes a complete CGI being, which
that whole scene was horrible. By the way, I think that Marvel succeeded with Loki and Thanos extremely well with
yeah. Oh, they've done some great jobs. But then if you look at stuff like Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, they even the first Iron Man, the guy, he not great. Like they don't.
But he wasn't a CGI guy. He was a regular dude in armor.
No. But I'm just saying, as far as making either a sympathetic or an interesting, three-dimensional character as a
Dark
villain.
World was probably the worst one. I feel like that was
the elves, they were terrible.
You know what they did too with this one as well is they had the same almost very carbon copy-ish looking villain again of Batman, Superman with this one as well. They both looked exactly the same to me.
They the horns,
breathing fire and shit. It's just like, oh, we're doing this again, the same retread, fucking
mold. And then the battle at the end is just ridiculous. The whole battle at the end. The most interesting villain in this was the lady who made the poison, the poison with the face thing. Like, I wanted to know more about her. I think they said very quickly
disappears, right? I don't know what happened to her.
He like knocks. He saves her. He tries to get Wonder Woman to kill her, and then she, because she has mercy, she doesn't. And she was the most interesting of them, and you find out nothing about her. It would have been at least interesting to see her. I don't know. She was marginally better than the rest of them, but it falls apart in the third act so badly. And if I didn't know that the movie was written all the way through, I'd almost say that a director came in and was like, I need to rewrite the third act because they're not happy with the action or something, because it just it didn't fit very well. And then you have, Chris Pine, Steve Rogers fly up into the air, and I know his name's not Steve Rogers, but it was basically Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And it's identical. It's the identical idea. He sacrifices himself, and he says goodbye to the woman he loves, and he crashes the plane, which, you could say, be like, well, there probably was another way he could have done this, but okay.
Also, by the way, why did she get deaf all of a sudden? Is that one of her weaknesses, that loud noises make her deaf, but everything else she's good with? That was weird also.
Tinnitus is her kryptonite.
Yeah.
So fucking weird. It made no sense.
I'm indestructible, but no, a drum set. I'm ruined.
Wonder Woman 3, they bring out a dog whistle, and then down she goes for the count.
Yeah, that clearly they just wanted that scene where she couldn't hear what he was saying. And they had to like awkwardly work it in because apparently Amazon eardrums aren't as sturdy as the rest of them. But this movie, I definitely remember liking this movie a lot more than I did this time around. But I also remember thinking the third act was terrible and that the villain in it was awful, just horrible. Gal Gadot, I think, is great as Wonder Woman. I mean, and in all her appearances, she's been, she's
I don't think they've given her a fair share to be good in one of the movies, but she is good at it. And the way you described it in 3 sections, the middle section to me was the only enjoyable section, really. That was it.
No, I agree. And I get that. And the beginning section, you're right. You didn't need that because like Spider-Man, Marvel proved with Spider-Man, you don't need, for these iconic characters, you don't constantly need to retread that Batman's parents were killed or that Superman came from Krypton or that, we know how especially the DC characters, everyone knows where Wonder Woman's story. And even if you don't, do you really care? Like she's beautiful and she's strong and she's basically a female Superman. And okay, so now give us a movie.
And by the way, that's the other thing I think about is that her strength, although this is a problem with Marvel also, varied wildly, it seems. Like sometimes she was super strong. That's one thing they've all been kind of weird on is how strong everybody is.
Well, that's the thing. If you're able to go at all toe-to-toe with Superman, and then you punch a guy and he just like flies back a little bit and hits a wall, that's bullshit. Superman is moving like planets. And if you're that strong, you're punching a guy into oblivion. Like she's so much stronger. And that is a real problem with DC's characters is all of them are so powerful that it's hard to make them,
vulnerable.
It's hard to threaten them. And it's hard to put them into situations where you're like concerned about them. But yeah, so you guys both hit the nail on the head. And I've talked for too long. This for me, it's not. I'm not going to say I hate it as much as the two of you, but I'll say for me, it was just a 5.
A 5. Okay, so I'm a 3. He's a 3. You're a 5. So we average that to what, a 3.54, something like that?
611.
4.
Yeah. Close. Let's see what the critics had to say. Critics 5-star reviews. It's easily the best film in the DCEU thus far. By the way, this was written in 2021.
By the way, that there's a low bar, so I'm not against that either.
Well, it's not better than Shazam. That's just silly talk. But what does that mean when your yardstick is Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Suicide Squad? All fair points. Entries into the Marvel Cinematic Universe continue to take chances and clean up at the box office, but even the most cynical of us are eagerly awaiting what Patty Jenkins and Gal Godot have as next in store. No, this was written after 84 came out, dummy. It's taken a while, but the first ever superhero film with both a female protagonist and director is an absolute delight. Here we go. Diana's a strong role model for young girls as she's a fighter and has no time for the typical gender roles placed in society. This film is full of fish out of water humor, which comes from a demigod negotiating the world of men. It is also visually stunning, and the action scenes are thrilling. Coupling the world of superheroes with World War I works surprisingly well. No, it's a loud, obnoxious campus with garbage sprayed all over it.
By the way, there was a movie in the 80s called Aphrodite, Goddess of Love, or something like that. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was all about Aphrodite, like, for some reason gets thrown to Earth in the 80s, and she's got to, like, adapt. And it was basically that entire scene of this movie, and it's a terrible, terrible movie. So congratulations.
I mean, they should have just went to the old Wonder Woman TV shows and pulled from them and based the story on that, because those were fun.
Yeah, you're right.
Or the true fish out of water story, Splash. Critics 1-star reviews. Piercing through a lot of the nonsense and bombast, this is pretty crude, nationalist, and pro-war propaganda.
Whoa.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming.
Someone's taking an enema of blowhardiness today.
I'm sure somebody watched this movie and was like, I should join the army. This
well, maybe
to me.
If you think Gal Gadot's going to be there, sure.
Hey, worked for Top Gun with dudes playing volleyball in jeans on the beach, right?
Well, they're delicious.
Did that work, by the way? Was there an intro?
Oh, yeah.
There was a huge,
We did the Top Gun was done this. They said Navy recruitment shot up something like ridiculous, 3 or 4 fold.
Wow. People are so stupid.
Yeah. Kenny Loggins and Tom Cruise equals see you at the recruiting station, boys. Anchors away, as they say.
Highway to the danger zone from me.
The imperative to eradicate any hint of bossiness or anger from her character weighs heavily on the film, threatening to turn it into one long, dispiriting exercise in allaying male fears about powerful women. No.
What movie were they watching?
Again, here is where they get to insert their horseshit agendas into a film, all right? Or a review, excuse me. The overuse of computer-augmented imagery and wire work and fully computer-animated characters make everything look just a bit faker, especially during showdowns.
True.
Boring. Oh, sorry.
They only got worse. In WW 1984, it was even worse.
It was terrible.
I did not watch it because I value my spare
You're missing
time.
Nothing.
Thank you.
That makes this movie look so much better.
Yeah. Compared to that, sure.
What would you give 84 or 1 to 10, both of you?
A 1. A 1.
That bad. Wow. I thought you said it was.
I mean, if 0 was 0, it was so bad.
As boring.
The beginning scene is it.
Oh, which is, well, I don't know. I didn't see it.
They did use it as a trailer. She saves a bunch of kids in a museum. It's just like an opening act.
Okay.
And that was the only good part in the movie.
Yeah, that was fun. That was it. Then it was over. I could have stopped there.
You mean her traipsing through a mall and seeing a Walden Books and dudes wearing puffy jackets didn't, spark the old nostalgia up again? I wonder. As boring and flavorless as a 3-day-old grilled cheese sandwich that's been left out in the sun, Wonder Woman is yet another reminder that the superhero genre is a lost cause.
No.
Wow. All right. It's not get crazy.
First of all, someone just must have left a grilled cheese out in the sun for 3 days and decided to shoehorn their own little anecdote in there. Huh?
Also, I can tell you this: a grilled cheese left out in the sun for 3 days would not be flavorless. It would be terrible.
No,
but it wouldn't be flavorless.
Right. Literary degrees, the death knell of American journalism. Amazon 5-star reviews. I watched this movie. They wrote this movie twice. I watched this movie. Like, John, go get the papers. With curiosity and skepticism. I never watched Wonder Woman on TV, nor was I interested in the character. Taking a chance without being drunk, I purchased the film and just finished watching it. I was stunned. Appreciated the well-crafted aspect of the story and enjoyed the soundtrack. That's not what I expected, though. Being a big fan of Xena, I should have been prepared. This was a serious film without any goofball humor, a great deal of action, and exciting battle scenes that'll make it feel good. Please rent or buy this movie right away.
Big fan of Xena is all you needed to say.
What was I say? Sign Lucy Lawless. I am not a big superhero fan, but the second time I saw this movie, it affected me, spelled wrong, just like when I went to return to see Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. I found myself tearing up during a few scenes because we have never seen a woman with this kind of power on film before. Episode 6 or 7, 8, and 9 ring a bell, guys? No? I found blah, 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 blah. After her scene in No Man's Land, the audience of the theater clapped. And then when the people in the movie clapped for her, the audience clapped again. Something that just doesn't happen in the movies anymore, unless it's a franchise with 40 years of films like Star Wars. This film is exactly what modern audiences are looking for, and it is 100% satisfying. Wonder Woman will go down in history with The Dark Knight and Spider-Man 2 as one of the best and most culturally significant superhero movies ever.
Did you look and see, are all those super positive ones written by women or no? I'm just curious.
I can go back and no.
That's all right. I was just curious.
Yeah,
I'd be curious because it just, I don't know, guys. At least we all seem to be like last time we were on separate wavelengths, but this time we seem to be on the same wavelengths. That it just was not a good movie.
Wanted Angelina Jolie. That's a kick-ass female. We can deal with that. There's no matter of guys getting, a woman's in charge. We can't have that. Shut the fuck up. My husband and I are homebodies and don't like going to the movie theaters too much. Too much extraneous noise. You can't enjoy what you're watching. I took the liberty of pre-ordering it on Amazon.com because my husband and I prefer watching DVDs in the privacy of our home. This movie lived up to the title. Action-packed, moving, and the fight scenes with Gal Godot and Robin Wright were amazing. You think her husband had the balls to ask for a handy in the privacy of their own home while watching Gal Gadot in skimpy attire? He's not allowed.
He was probably already there with the erection, so it made it easier.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to talk during the movie.
Yeah. This movie is a great experience. I'm a Spider-Man fan, but this movie stomped Spider-Man Homecoming. If DC produces more movies like this, I'll gravitate toward their characters. However, I'll remain a Spider-Man fan. Marvel seems to be lost in political correctness that's obvious on the screen and is becoming an annoying distraction. Wonder Woman is what it is, removed from reality and realistic fantasy, excuse me. No visible progressive script.
Can I ask a question? Did you guys see Eternals? Was that any good? I did not see it.
I did not see it either. Kevin did.
When he said political correctness, that's the movie I think of, but I did not see it yet.
It was okay, but I also feel like that's a movie that if I went back and watched it again, it probably wasn't. It was too long, and it should have been a TV show. It would have been better as a TV show. It's too many characters, too much happening. And they jammed too much in.
I hated the second Venom was not good. I'll tell you that.
The first one wasn't either.
No, first one was silly and fun. Wasn't fun. It was stupid and fun.
Didn't like it. Too short. I did not see the second one. That's I'm not paying to see that shit again. Amazon 1-star reviews. I bought it for $3 during Black Friday and didn't get around to watching it now. 20 minutes in, I was ready to shut it off. Quote unquote personal note. I have no problem with strong females, but Hollywood proves time and time again that they don't know what a strong woman is. Usually, they just have the woman act like a man and beat up a bunch of men just to show how strong they are. They never beat up other women, always men, and they're usually emotionless and unrealistically overpowered. They also bring down men at the same time by making them weak and foolish. Women can still be soft, emotional, feminine, and strong. Wonder Woman wasn't as bad as I feared, and Diana was more balanced than usual, but there were times when they just couldn't help themselves. Men are strong, virtuous, and courageous too. They don't need to be torn down just to lift women up. Not everything has to be politicized or made to satisfy activist groups. Just let the natural differences of both be seen at their best and worst. Just be real.
Signed, Donald Trump.
Nothing like the real Wonder Woman. Story is very weak, does not develop the characters, and I didn't see any of the advertising hype or previews. So not a case of living up to expectations, just a bad movie. A shame, as I'm sure it was expensive to make. Signed, DC Productions Accounting Department.
The real Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter.
This could have been such a good movie. What is wrong with you people? Lazy storytelling, overamped sound effects, weak. Watched for 15 minutes. Credit my account.
Yeah, I like that.
That's like waited 34 minutes for a Domino's pizza. That means free pizza, dude. Last one. All right. 1 star.
That's good. I enjoyed that one.
I respect it.
Kevin Israel, did Ralph Sutton gut the sacred cow?
Ralph's passionate, succinct, quick argument did manage to gut this sacred cow.
Yeah,
I would even question how sacred this cow is, but I guess
mean,
we'll
based on the ratings online, it's pretty fucking sacred.
Yeah, no, you're right. People love this movie, and it appealed for a lot of various reasons that had nothing to do with how good the actual movie was. I promise you, if you get half the people who vocalize their positive opinions for this film, you get them one-on-one, you go, did you really like it? Like, yeah, man, I don't know. People just
say
sing
that
the theme song.
Yeah. I don't even know the theme song. That's fine.
I couldn't do it, but I can hear it in my head.
Oh.
But yes, congratulations, Ralph. You got the sacred cow.
2 for 2.
1 and 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Didn't you lose the first one?
No, you guys lowered your ratings. That's good enough for me.
Didn't gut it, but I gave you.
I take that as a win. I'm sorry, guys.
Fair. Ralph, once again, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Follow me everywhere at I am Ralph Sutton, and then my podcast, The SDR Show, and the other one, Good Sugar Podcast, just anywhere you'd listen or watch online. And of course, Gas Digital Network with 2 shows launching, Aaron Bergs and Zach Wilds, both coming out in January.
Kevin Israel.
You can find me at kevinisrael.com. But more importantly, you're probably just finishing this podcast. So why don't you take another 5 seconds, click over to the review area in the podcast platform you're watching, and give us a 5-star rating and a quick review, because it makes us happy. And we're in the holiday season, and it's the season of giving, and we're asking you to do something that's free. It costs nothing, and it means everything to us.
In the words of Bluto and Animal House, don't cost nothing. KevinGoatee.com for all the NFL picks and dates and whatever shenanigans are afoot over there. And that's right, Kevin Israel, you hit the nail on the head. And I'm going to ask you to do one more thing, and that's subscribe to us on YouTube. We're getting damn close to monetization. We'd appreciate it. And if you want to advertise with us, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. Ralph Sutton, thanks again for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you showing up, hanging out.
Thank you, guys. I'm on my way to a date ski. Have a good one.
Later.